Cancer, take a breath. You've been carrying a lot, haven't you? And most of it doesn't even belong to you. The energy around you feels like you've been holding the emotional temperature of everyone in your life, making sure everyone else is okay, even when you're not. But this Mercury retrograde is bringing a pause, a reflection point. Not to punish you, but to help you see what needs releasing before you burn out trying to save what was never your job to heal. Hey, love, I know you've been feeling everything extra strong lately. The confusion, the distance, the nostalgia, the waves of emotion that come out of nowhere. Mercury retrograde for you is personal. It's activating memories, conversations you thought were settled, and maybe even people you thought were done with your story. But this isn't about them. This is about you, your patterns, your emotional responses, your need to protect, and your right to be protected. Spirit saying, this is your karmic reset. You're learning the difference between love and emotional labor. The first card that comes through is the Chariot, your own energy, Cancer in its purest form. The Chariot isn't just movement, it's emotional direction. It's about reclaiming control of your energy. For too long, you've been reacting instead of steering. You've been adjusting to others' moods, taking on their chaos as your responsibility. The karmic lesson here is that empathy without boundaries becomes exhaustion. Spirit says you can be kind without being consumed. In one layer, the Chariot reminds you that not every battle deserves your energy. Sometimes the victory is simply not engaging. You're learning to move with intention, not in haste, not in guilt, but in self-respect. In another layer, it's about emotional maturity, learning that self-control isn't suppression, it's awareness. You're not here to numb your feelings. You're here to direct them toward purpose. The deeper message of the Chariot is simple. Peace is not passive. It's a decision you make daily when you refuse to let old wounds drive your life. The next card is the Six of Cups, and immediately, nostalgia hits. This card often brings people from your past, old memories, or emotions that feel like home. But sometimes the past feels safe because it's familiar, not because it's right. You might find yourself replaying moments that once made you feel loved, trying to understand what changed. But Spirit's saying, nothing's wrong with remembering. The problem begins when you start rewriting the past just to justify staying stuck. In the first layer, this card asks you to examine how your inner child still drives your reactions. You crave emotional security, but you often attach it to people who remind you of old patterns. The second layer speaks of forgiveness, not for others this time, but for yourself. You did what you could with the love and awareness you had then. Now you know better. Let the past soften you, not define you. The karmic lesson here is emotional independence. You can cherish where you came from without repeating it. Then comes the Nine of Swords, the overthinking energy that Cancer knows too well. This is the sleepless night, the replaying of every conversation, the worrying about what you could have done differently. It's that spiral that starts with what if and ends in emotional exhaustion. The truth is, your anxiety has been trying to protect you from disappointment, but lately it's been controlling your peace. Spirit says the karmic test here is surrender, not giving up, but giving over what you can't control. In one sense, this card shows you how much of your mental energy is spent trying to prevent rejection or regret. But you're learning that no amount of mental preparation can stop emotional pain. It only delays healing. In another sense, the Nine of Swords shows the illusion of control. You're trying to fix things mentally that were meant to be felt, not solved. The deeper message here is trust, not in people, but in your resilience. You've survived everything you once thought would break you. You'll get through this too. The next energy is the Queen of Cups, and she's your mirror. This is your emotional intelligence, your intuition, your gift. But right now, Spirit says this gift has been overextended. You've been giving your emotional wisdom to others while forgetting to apply it to yourself. The Queen of Cups reminds you that empathy starts at home. You can't pour into others from an empty cup. In one layer, this card reminds you that love is not fixing, it's witnessing. You don't have to rescue people from their lessons. The karmic imbalance you're breaking is emotional over-identification, taking responsibility for what others won't face. The second layer teaches compassion with boundaries. You can care deeply and still say, "That's not mine to carry." The deeper lesson here is emotional sovereignty, realizing that your sensitivity is power when it's directed inward first. Then comes the Tower. And yes, I know, that one always brings a reaction. But Cancer, you already knew this shakeup was coming. You've been feeling it in your bones. Something unstable in your life, maybe a relationship dynamic, maybe a pattern of self-sacrifice, is collapsing, not to destroy you, but to free you. The Tower is divine intervention in disguise. Spirit says this is what happens when you ignore the whispers for too long. The universe sends a storm. At first, it'll hurt. It'll feel unfair, confusing, and lonely. But as the dust settles, you'll realize what's being removed is what you kept holding out of guilt. This isn't punishment, it's realignment. You're being pulled out of emotional codependency and placed into self-trust. The karmic lesson here is about detachment, learning that love doesn't require losing yourself. Once you let go, you'll notice how light peace actually feels. Next we have the Hermit, and this card feels like a deep exhale. After the Tower, you'll want quiet, and Spirit says, take it. Isolation right now isn't rejection, it's reflection. The Hermit teaches solitude, not loneliness. It's about learning to sit with yourself without needing validation. You're reconnecting with your inner voice, the one that gets drowned out when you're always caretaking for everyone else. In the first layer, the Hermit is your healing cave, where clarity replaces confusion. The second layer speaks of guidance. You're finding wisdom in silence, realizing your intuition has been accurate all along. The karmic theme here is emotional accountability, no longer blaming others for how long you stayed in things that didn't serve you. The deeper message, solitude reveals self-worth. Once you enjoy your own company, you'll stop settling for half-present people. And then the star, your renewal. After pain, after endings, comes this calm hope. The star isn't loud, it's quiet reassurance. Spirit says, I never left you. You're being reminded that faith isn't about seeing results. It's about trusting the process when it's still dark. You're healing your heart by remembering that your softness is not weakness, it's your superpower. In one sense, the star brings emotional recovery. Your nervous system slowly learning that peace doesn't mean boredom, it means safety. In another layer, it's spiritual recalibration. Your trust in life returning after disappointment. You're realizing your worth isn't conditional on being needed. The karmic reward here is freedom. To love without losing yourself, to give without depletion, to feel without fear. At this point, let me pause for a moment, because if you've been resonating with every word so far and you're craving deeper clarity for 2026, love, purpose, and spiritual evolution, I've opened private full-year forecasts for $155. It's not for everyone, but if your intuition is nudging you, it might be your sign. The link's in the description if you feel guided. Now the Ten of Pentacles appears, and this is your foundation rebuilding. It's stability, emotional, financial, and spiritual. The universe is showing you that when you protect your peace, abundance follows. You're learning that safety isn't found in people. It's built through consistent self-respect. Spirit says this year, you're not chasing stability, you're becoming it. In one layer, this card speaks of family and roots. You might be redefining what home means. Not always blood, but energy. The second layer is long-term security, your efforts finally aligning with your values. The karmic message here is endurance. You've done enough surviving. Now it's time to build from emotional maturity, not emotional debt. Finally, the world closes your reading. Completion, integration, freedom. You've gone full circle. The old you. The one who loved through overextension, who said yes when it hurt, who apologized just to keep peace. That version of you served a purpose. But they're done now. You're stepping into a new emotional frequency. The karmic contract that tied you to guilt and self-sacrifice is dissolved. You've learned the sacred truth. Love that costs your peace isn't love. It's a lesson. Spirit says this Mercury retrograde is the graduation you didn't know you were ready for. You've earned your peace. You've earned your emotional clarity. You've earned the right to protect your heart without apology. And if this message found you, I'd love to hear what part hit home. Drop a comment and let's talk. Your reflection might be the reminder someone else needs today. Now take a breath and repeat after me. Your affirmation: I no longer carry what isn't mine. I allow endings that protect my peace. My emotions are my guide, not my cage. I trust myself to choose peace over pleasing and love over fear.